right. Let's give our opponent a GLHF at QXY ZPK. It's a real mouthful. Okay, here we go. Rematch against QXY ZPK. We have white this game, which is exciting. We have the privilege, but I'm not sure that we're going to use it to do anything too crazy. Shout out to Lucas Pope. Hell yeah, Lucas Pope. Lucas Pope is an absolute boss. I have immense respect for the man. We're going to play Knight of 3. I don't think I'll play too many ladder games. I think we'll jump into the teams variants today because it's been so long since I did a Hand and Brain stream, and it's just so fun. And we're working on... We're just going to play a calm D4. See what our opponent... I think last week maybe our opponent played C6, the Sarperen defense, so it's called. Which I think we have good answers for. So I'm not super worried about that. Haha, there we go. Okay, right on cue. All right, we're gonna play C3, close up our triagonal, and then captures. Here is a question for the ages. Do we can have 7 sec. This is turn 4. Next turn will be turn 4, 3, 2, 1. You can't just take this on the first turn. Because I was wondering, wait. What if I mean, our opponent can play the, you know, Queen B6 business next turn, but... But we can also... We can also just 2D sack, right? And then travel to F5 the next turn? Yeah, because normally what I see is C6 happens, and then after C3, you get Queen B6 to prevent the sack shenanigans. But we can just 2D sack here and then travel one turn in the past. Am I right about that? Yeah, teams. Void want to team up. That's exciting. OMG Cement, did you see Penguin's team name? No. Do I hear the filthy words F7 sec? You may have done. You gotta stay open-minded. V-League Cruxer says, finally I catch you live. Been watching the VODs for a while. Awesome. It's great to have you around. Glad you could catch the stream, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chat's giving a warm welcome to V-League Cruxer. I mean, I think Queen B3 here, and then we get a travel, and that's mate, isn't it? Let me make sure. I mean, or we have an F7 sec. And there's no counter sack possibility because we played D4. Let me make sure that that's true. Hold on. For some reason, I don't believe myself that it might work. Also, actually saying the name right, Wild. Oh, glad. It was a shot in the dark. You know the rules, and so do I. Oh, God. I've been rickrolled by chat already, so there is a precedent. Okay, if you take here, and then he has to take, it's mate. I feel crazy, because I've been playing a lot of 2D, and so I need to get my mind back into the... Okay, so let's say that it's my turn here and there's a king here. If I travel to here on this board, then it becomes his turn here and my turn here attacking this king, and this is, yeah, okay, right? Wow, sorry, chat. Sorry, I was a little slow there. No, we play Queen B3 here probably every day of the week, right? Doesn't this win us the game? I'm going to be embarrassed if it doesn't win us the game. Doesn't this win us the game? Okay, he can travel back and have a knight capture our knight here. So in that case, it doesn't win us the game. But it does force our opponent we will have... How far back can our opponent travel? Maximum of... so here and then next turn. So it'll be his turn to here and then his turn. And then he can recapture this knight. But to do so, he has to go to before this turn. We can always deliver a check, no matter how far back he goes, right? So I shouldn't worry about it. You know what? We're just gonna do it. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. Our opponent can definitely travel and then recapture this knight with his knight. But I think that we have fantastic opportunities if it doesn't work out as well. So let's just do a little bit of this and then let our opponent travel. We do have a queen here that we can use to travel to here on this board and get like a mate soon or something like that, maybe. Or maybe travel to the other board and recapture. Although then by that time he'll have another move here. So he certainly has to travel. He certainly has to travel. This is why you have to play queen b6 before you capture c takes d5. Yeah, okay. I figured that we would get a little travelino here. But wait, what does that actually do for our opponent? Can we set up a... Okay. How can our opponent prevent... How can we force our opponent to let us check them? Can we force our opponent to let us check them? Okay, hold on. So what we want to do is... Oh, if we do this, the only issue with that, actually then we can recapture, but it won't be into the past. So we have to figure this out. Let me think. If we do this, actually, if we could get a queen to f5, or if we could get a knight to f5 here. Okay, here's the thing. So our opponent could ostensibly, we have to do a thing, because our opponent, if our opponent gives us a check this turn, yeah, recapturing doesn't win the game for us, unfortunately. If our opponent gives us a check, oh, then again, if our opponent checks us here, okay, if we go here, then we can give this king a check here. The only check that our opponent can give us is actually here. But if we... No, because we can take, and then the travel happens anyway. Even though we can give a check of our own, like it is insufficient. Right? Maybe what we can do is set up... Hold on. When is this king happens here? So here on this board. So if we could go to here on this board, well, okay, so there's a knight there, which complicates matters. If we could attack this king from this board as well, then that would be good. Like if we could get this knight to f5 here, next turn. I mean, our opponent can still give us a check is the only problem, because if we go here and block our opponent from giving us check, then the only problem is oh my god, wait. Chat, the game might not be over. And here's why. I was calculating this being our opponent's turn on this board, but in fact, by traveling, our opponent has produced another board on which this king is here. So if this isn't the only turn that we can have a knight on f5, we can also have a knight on f5 here on this board. Which means that if we do check him from either this board or this board on this turn, because it's our turn here, we win. Which gives us options. It means that we can either... I think it means that this knight here is the play. Because now, if he gives a check and we recapture... If he gives a check here and we recapture, and then this knight takes here and it's our turn here... Okay. We fucking did it, boys. I think. Then this recapture, I think, actually wins us the game. Well, he has the opportunity to travel, so it doesn't win us the game, but the only piece that he can really travel with is this queen. I've lost to this a few times in recent memory, not super recent, but I remember thinking I can just recapture and it's fine because, you know, like it's going to be a present check, but then traveling from the point where my king is getting checked means that it is, big yikes for our opponent, because how does he ever reach that square? Where would he have to be to reach that square? He could be on that square, but I think I'm just gonna capture this queen with check, and then maybe play this queen out, right? So from here, actually, he can't get to... This is f5, right? So he'd need to be on the square that's occupied by his pawn, which he's not going to be able to move anytime soon, or on the square itself. But after this, we can just push queen d3 and then laugh straight to the bank, right? It's so vindicating to be on the winning side of this, because I always fuck this up. Okay, he didn't actually have a turn to set up the travel anyway, so it didn't matter, but we got there. We got there. Okay, fantastic. GG. GG. Very nice. Okay. I've lost to this miscalculation so many times, thinking that it's all good. I can just... But then, because you travel, it's your opponent's turn on the original board. Oh... I have learned something. This is encouraging evidence that I've actually learned over the course of losing many a game to this blunder. I mean, I feel for our opponent losing such a quick game, but also, you know, you can't just push c6 with impunity. You know, you gotta, or c5 even. You gotta cover your tracks. You gotta bring your queen out. Or prevent the, you know, there is a reason that I'm stuck playing the same dumb opening, you know, you can't just freestyle without covering your tracks.